Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. I greet you as an esteemed group of the LSSA UNISA Distance Learning School candidates for the school's 2021 second semester program. Let me start first by congratulating you, ladies and gentlemen, and at the same time, thanking you for having chosen our school and thereby having given our school the esteemed dignity of being the school that you choose to present to you practical legal training in furtherance of your aspirations to either be an attorney or an advocate of the High Court. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the school itself and the team that will be the team for you to look up to make sure that all your aspirations during the coming 6 months, starting from today, are achieved. The team that is going to coordinate your training, your practical legal training, is the team that is led by myself. Therefore, it's only proper that I introduce who I am and the team itself. I am K. Malema. You could have already encountered my name in correspondence between us before today. I am the principal of the school. And my team is made up of 3 ladies. The first one will be the senior coordinator. Her name is Dorcas. And she is assisted by 2 coordinators, Phyllis and Zukiswa. Those are the people that are in chief, the foot soldiers in the program that is presented to you as our candidates, the training program. Myself, I come from the legal practice background. I am a former attorney of the High Court, and I am an admitted advocate of the High Court, having been practicing as an advocate for 11 years before I joined this esteemed institution. That's where I come from. During my more than 20 years of practice, legal practice that straddled between the attorney's practice and the advocate's profession, I presented lectures in the PLT programs of this esteemed institution, the Law Society of South Africa. And my lectures were presented in the module or the course known as High Court Civil Practice, HCP, as the course represented from the year 2009 until 2019, when I became the principal of your school, the LSSA UNISA school. Today is the first day, the 7th of June, 2021. This is your first day, the opening day of your practical legal training or practical vocational training. We use the acronyms interchangeably. PLT or PVT does not really cut a piece of cheese. The short history of the school is that it started offering this program somewhere around 2004. And then it offered the program in collaboration with the UNISA, as you know it, UNISA, the university. Hence the name LSSA UNISA School. So the full title of the school is LSSA UNISA Distance Learning School for PVT. Please, please don't be tempted, like many have already heard, of misnaming the school. It's not long distance. We are not a long distance school. We are just a distance learning school offering distance education. The reason for the creation of the school, which is a collaboration between the LSSA, Law Society of South Africa, and UNISA, the university, was basically to cover, for instances where candidates like yourselves were not easily accessible or acceptable in the traditional lead schools, which are either day schools or night schools, because there, unfortunately, the numbers are restricted. Now, in our case, numbers are not restricted. We admit as far as we can admit, taking advantage of the distance nature of the school. We are not confined or constricted or constrained rather by physical spaces, because we are not an attendance school. We don't attend classes. We rather write and pass assignments and write and pass examinations. And then when necessary, we attend lectures. And then I talk in some great length about the attendance of lectures. The collaboration between UNISA and the LSSA basically formed the basis of the lecturing portion of our training. Before COVID-19, that is before 2020, lectures, that is sit-in lectures, used to form a sizable part of our offering of the training. Students would be expected to attend lectures on various modules, but those lectures would be presented through video conferencing facilities, and those facilities were only accessible at UNISA campuses throughout the country. Our school is a national school in the sense that you can register for the course from any part of the country. As a matter of fact, we do have candidates among you who are actually located beyond the boundaries of the country. So that is the gap that is filled by the LSSA UNISA distance learning school. The purpose of the training itself is that after the 6 months training course, students have the benefit of, instead of normally attending or undergoing a 2-year contract of articles in a firm of attorneys, they gain 1 year credit. Therefore, they only attend, or they are required to undergo 1 year contract of articles. So the benefit of attending our school, like any other lead school, attendance school, is that, yes, your traditional 2-year period is cut into half. Therefore, you are only required to attend or undergo a 1 year contract of articles of training. The training itself, ladies and gentlemen, covers a number of modules. Just under 20, they could be, when I last counted them, I think they were 17, 18, somewhere there. But please don't stress up. I think there is a document which will be uploaded on the e-leader platform this afternoon. And the document is a learner guide on page or chapter or point 10. The learner guide, you should find a full list of all the modules which form part of the whole PVT program, PVT package. So we're talking of, obviously, among others, criminal procedure, civil procedure in the High Court, civil procedure in the Match Court, a module on contract, module on legal costs, for example, constitutional litigation and procedure, and. So yes, those modules all combined form the course content of your 6 months training program. I must indicate that between the start of the school and the advent of this unfortunate pandemic, students had what I would refer, or in my view, was a heavier load of work to do than they have after COVID-19, because COVID-19 came at the beginning of last year and introduced, among other things, social distancing, ladies and gentlemen. And then the result of social distancing was such that ultimately we had to do less and less with attending of lectures. As a matter of fact, the University of South Africa, UNISA, as far as I know, still is suffering from is suffering under the yoke of not offering attendance at its campuses. So the result was that COVID-19 came and dealt away with the benefits, the main benefit that our school used to enjoy from the association with UNISA, and that was the doing away with video conferencing lectures. As matters stand, we have no more video conference lectures at all. Our school training practices have been reduced to their very bare identity and essentials, that is, being proper distance learning. We are no more attending any lectures, and all that our students are doing, and therefore you will be doing, is to answer assignments, pass them, and the minimum threshold is 50%, not 39, or anything lower, or anything lower than 50. For us, anything lower than 50% is a fail. And we'll talk about what happens when a student obtains any mark lower than 50 later on, when I deal with main and supplementary assignments or examinations. I've just said that we are now dealing with assignments, yes, and the assignments are further as a result of COVID-19 and its effect, are divided into self-study assignments and ordinary assignments. Assignments are ordinary because they have to be answered by students like yourselves, and they will be answered and be passed. There will be marks. Self-study assignments are there for you guys to inform yourself about aspects of legal procedure, for example, and the aspect called forms of business enterprises. It is not examinable, and it's not even like, yes, assess. We don't practice assessing or examining students on their skills regarding forms of business enterprise. Another one will be cyber law, I suspect, but all those are listed. You have a list of online self-study assignments and other assignments. As I said, students are expected to answer satisfactorily and get a 50% minimum. If you get a 50% minimum, you are therefore absolved from having to go and answer a supplementary assignment. Because as I say, assignments have two levels: the main assignment and the supplementary assignment. The main assignment, if you pass the main assignment, you are absolved. There's no need for you to answer a supplementary assignment. Now, there is a catch that, ladies and gentlemen, I will take this opportunity to alert you to. And that is, in answering main assignments, please, 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 do not just wake up and say, I want to answer main assignment. Because the way things are done, and this is still owing to the advent of COVID-19, it has changed so many things. I've said at the beginning that in the past, we used to have lectures, video conferencing lectures, that is done away with. And we also had to do assignments rather, there used to be examinations on every module. We have an examination on high court civil practice. We have an examination on match court practice. We have an examination on criminal court practice. COVID-19 came and it forced the institutions to be a little bit imaginative about how to cope and still end up offering quality training to esteemed ladies and gentlemen like yourselves. So we don't have those examinations in all the modules. Examinations, as a matter of fact, have been stripped to bare number of examinations. Examinations that are now being offered are on 3 modules. The first one I may mention is a module commonly known as LPBK, which is an acronym for Legal Practitioners Bookkeeping. Another one would be WET, which will stand for Wills, Estates and Trusts, colloquially referred to as a module on wills. And the third one, it's a module of general knowledge, all-encompassing module, in other words. It's referred to as BBST, an acronym for Broad-Based Skills Test. It is a test or an examination on candidates' general knowledge of the law. In that last mentioned examination, students will be expected to answer questions on all fields of law, excluding those that I've mentioned, that is excluding wills and estates and trusts and LPBK. BBST module is an all-encompassing or a general knowledge module. So that don't be surprised if you get a question in BBST examination. Don't be surprised if you get a question on constitutional law practice, a question on legal costs, a question on labor relations, question on trust, for example, or a question on sorry, not trust, contracts. I wanted to say contracts, because trust is included in wills, estates, and trust. So yes, those are the 3 examinations. As I'm saying, those are the developments that have been occasioned largely by the advent of COVID-19. The assignments, I still want to come back to the question of the assignments. The assignments, ladies and gentlemen, that you will have to answer and pass at a minimum threshold of 50 are all multiple choice based assignments. You see, you will hear the word assignment interchangeable with assessment, so that the assignments have to be answered online, and then you submit your answers online, and then they are marked automatically online. So the moment you with your answers, then you press the send button, and then it says submit. You press the submit button, and moments later get marked. So we're trying to make things, according to me, lighter than they used to be in the past, because in the past assignments there were no assignments, but every module was subjected to examination and passing. And now there are no more, except for the 3 examinations. All modules are reduced to assignment writing and assignment marking and assignment passing. So according to me, yes, things are now a little bit lighter than they used to be. The catch that I wanted to again emphasize was, please make sure that the time you decide that on this particular day, I am going to answer an assignment on criminal law and procedure, as an example. This decision must be based and informed by a thorough and underlying, actually, or above thorough preparation for that exercise. Because answering these assignments, ladies and gentlemen, is timed. When you open an assignment, you will be informed. This is a 1 hour answering assignment or a 2 hour answering assignment, whatever. But you will always be alerted to how long it will take for you to answer this particular assignment. So I'm underlining this alert. These assignments are timed, and let it be that, yes, you feel today and no any other day is the day on which I'm going to answer this particular assignment, because I have thoroughly prepared. Because the moment you open the assignment, the timing, the control of the timing to answer the assignment is totally out of your control. It is automatically controlled. So from the moment you open it, the clock ticks 000102 seconds until the time that this assignment is given to be answered. 1 hour from opening, or 2 hours, or whatever, 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever. So as I'm saying again and again, those assignments, ladies and gentlemen, the way they have been set, besides that, ladies and gentlemen, are trained in their time management skills. Because if you decide to open it and it is open, then the next thing, your child or your spouse calls you out and say, I need your full attention, or you decide to drop, and you have second thoughts about your earlier decision, you are out. This time will conclude, sort of will count until the last second of the set time for answering this particular assignment. And thereafter, it will automatically submit your work, be it an empty paper in case you haven't done anything, or be it a paper that contains answers to only 50% of the questions, or if you have done your job, a full complement of the answers to a particular assignment. As I'm saying, the moment you open your assignments, ladies and gentlemen, control of the time is not in your hands at all. It is automated that much. As I'm saying, immediately submits. All assignments that I'm talking about are multiple choice based assignments. So you get your mark. So in case you pass, as I said, fine. But if you have failed for any reason, then that's when your responsibility or your duty obligation to go for the supplementary assignment comes. So also supplementary assignment, it's like the main assignment. It also is automatically based, multiple choice questions, and please prepare, because again, if you're not prepared, you might find yourself in trouble again. You have to pass the assignments for you to be considered as having complied with the training condition requirements for the purposes of getting your PVT or PLT certificates. The training, ladies and gentlemen, I said the manuals are there on the learner guide. And the training further has an element which is known as casework. With casework, we're trying our best from our institution or from where we are based to mimic a live court situation, either be the high court or the lower court. By mimicking, what I'm saying is we're trying to simulate, imitate a live court happening, a live court situation where you will have the presiding officer, the magistrate or the judge, would have the plaintiff, would have their counsel, would have the defendant, would have their defendant's counsel. That is if it is an action-based civil matter. If it is a motion or application-based civil matter, we have the applicant and the applicant's counsel, we have the respondent and the respondent's counsel, and then we would have the witnesses for the applicant, witnesses for no, let me not mislead you. We don't have witnesses, and we don't in the motion court processes. We have those would definitely have them in action processes, because remember, motion court process is paper-based. It's only legal representatives and the presiding officers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is casework. You are encouraged to take part in it. Encouraged to hone your skills in representing yourselves. That is by way of putting your case across in the court, or you are also encouraged to take part in it because you'll be given it's a role-playing environment, ladies and gentlemen. One student, one colleague would be an applicant, and be a respondent, and like that and like that. And there will normally be lecturers there who sit as presiding officers. That is casework for you. Historically, this used to be the only contact based element of the PVT for our school. But COVID-19 came and spoiled the party. Casework has also fallen online. See, so groups of students will be grouped into group A, group B, blah, 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 blah. And then people will be given roles. You are the witness, you are the plaintiff, you are the defendant, you are the defendant's witness, blah, blah, blah. And then work, practical case will be given for litigation. So casework is basically a simulated litigation being the business that takes place in a live court. For those who want to know what litigation and litigators are and are about. So as I'm saying, since 2020, basically since the pandemic, casework has also fallen on to the online canvas from a serious hit by COVID-19. So it is offered online. It is offered over a period of 10 days. It used to be offered online, said, oh, and then there is also, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of casework, you will be informed as to when casework will take place, so that you must be ready, because you have to be available in the interest of proper and quality practical legal training. I said casework is where a practical or a live court situation is mimicked or simulated, so that we try by all means that at the end of the process, people should fashion themselves as and should have this thing that, or confidence that they can on their own at least apply for a resolution order in a match court, or yeah, I mean that's the aim. Casework is simply practice oriented. Another one, ladies and gentlemen. So as I said, you will be advised of when casework is going to take place. Another element of the practical legal training, ladies and gentlemen, is referred to as trial advocacy. With trial advocacy, ladies and gentlemen, your skills in advocacy, representing the other person's interests in a live court. That's what basically advocacy means. You are somebody advocating for the interests of another person in a representative capacity, that is. This time as a legal representative in a court, in this case. So the skills that are to be honed in this session, which is a 5-day session, are advocacy skills. You will see that trial advocacy also, like casework, will be presented or offered to candidates towards the end of your program. So look for trial advocacy after 3 months from today, somewhere September, October. That's when trial advocacy will be arranged. So you will be informed accordingly as to when and where trial advocacy will be held. Because for the first time, you hear me say, based level of or arm of our practical legal training, which remains contact-based. It is offered not by the school itself, but on behalf of the school by the Black Lawyers Association, a grouping of lawyers. I suspect you have heard about the institution, Black Lawyers Association, acronymed the BLA. The BLA offers on our behalf, which means we enlist their services to train you on advocacy skills. You will be advised and informed accordingly as to when trial advocacy is going to happen and where it's going to happen. Students will be expected for the first time to arrange to have to travel to the nearest region or center at which trial advocacy is going to happen. How regions or centers for trial advocacy purposes are determined simply depends on the number of students in a particular city or town. For example, as I said, our school is of national stretch, or yes, we have students from PAL, for example. We have a student from Zikama, or we have a student from Mosina, we have a student from now Makado, would have another student or students from now Kabeja, from a PE, so that how we define regions or centers for BLA trial advocacy purposes is we need to have at least 10 candidates who are registered in a particular, who are registered for the school and are resident in a particular city, for that city or town to be a BLA trial advocacy region or city or center. So that if you are in, for example, Makado, in the Limpopo province, and your grouping is only 6 or even less, or anyway, any less than 10, it would mean that you are unfortunately going to have to trek to the nearest center which has students registered in the numbers more than 10, and you go and join them there for the purposes of trial advocacy. So that is where, unfortunately, there would be a requirement that students might have to move from their places of convenience to go and attend trial advocacy, which is a 5-day, again, 5-day program. Number one, even about trial advocacy itself, yes, I've just said that it's a 5-day program, but we're not so sure at this stage whether it will continue to be a 5-day program at all, because there are, as we're speaking, moves by the LP to categorize advocacy into a post-admission requirement, which means there are moves and decisions have to be taken as to whether it is still a requirement for your purposes to attend trial advocacy during your 6 months training course, or it could be that you will be required to attend it after you have qualified, as a matter of fact, after you have been admitted. There are those moves and there are those discussions happening, and then at this juncture, and then as a result, we'll just keep watching the space, and then any necessary developments that take place and whatever decisions are taken, we should be in a position to advise you accordingly. So for now, all I can say is, yes, as far as what I've been saying about trial advocacy and casework, I was just relaying to you what has been happening as a matter of practice before these discussions that are currently taking place started. Yeah, that is trial advocacy for you. I've spoken about trial advocacy. I've spoken about casework, which is online. I've spoken about assignments. They are online. Others are self-study assignments. The FBEs of this of your course, the CLs, which is cyber law, and another. I think the other one is the INP, insolvency practice, and then the other ones are those that are subject to us passing at 50%, failing, of which would mean failing the main assignment of which would mean a candidate will have to pass a supplementary assignment. And then the important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you deal with those assignments which you have to answer and pass, remember there are multiple choice-based questions or assignments, and the answering thereof is automatically timed. And then, yeah, and then there is another requirement that assignments have to be passed by a particular deadline. So you will be informed in due course during the course of the program. I suspect this week you should be informed as to what is the deadline for all these assignments, which must be passed by minimum of 50%, and then which are assignments, which is the deadline again, another deadline for those assignments which are self-study assignments. All those deadlines, and then the whole schedule of your training, talking of examination dates, both the main examination and the supplementary examination. You should be informed well in due course, as I'm saying, during the course of this week. You will have all the dates of examinations, you'll have all the due dates or deadlines for submission of pass mark required assignments, and then you also have the due dates for the self-study assignments. And then, yes, that should be it. From our side as the school, we can say, please, and I've said this in my welcoming note that will also be uploaded for your consumption, that we are there to assist the means of communication between you, the candidate, and us. Please confine it to email. Confine communication to email, because number one, it guarantees formality and it guarantees permanence. See, when you call me and put me on terms, and that's it. It's not as guaranteed that I will confirm that this is what I promised this gentleman or this lady. But resorting to email, you are guaranteed of permanence. This person, I have emailed them this inquiry or this complaint or this remark or this query, and this is the date. So say my email. There's no chance that a coordinator would avoid answerability on a written email. So that's another thing. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, the place can, I suspect many of you have realized that the coordinators can be a very busy lot. These people, they run up and down the building like there is no tomorrow. There is organization of study material. You have to go down a floor and then go and either be involved in packaging of study material. Like many of you, as I'm speaking now, many of you are yet to receive their study material. I can rest you assured that the coordinator, whose responsibility it is to see that material are dispatched to students like yourselves, are not comfortably sitting on their seats now in their offices. They are down in the production rooms, making sure that, and however the time they are exchanging harsh words with the production staff. We want this material, and then they're carrying it, they're storing it, they're making sure that material is properly put in their boxes to you, ladies and gentlemen. So calling a coordinator, it's not always helpful. I think you have learned that. So, but when you register your query or your comment, you are guaranteed that you have done that. At one point or the other, the coordinator will have to read their email, and so the email says ABC, and the email comes from candidate so and so. But when you call and I'm not in the office, naturally you get frustrated. And that's why a number of ladies and gentlemen decides to really think that the best for us think. But the worst is to call out very unprintable names and wait. Right. So communication, can it be by email? Even to myself as a principal, there are these coordinators who have their lines of responsibility. You will get it to be informed as to who is responsible for what. So that if, for example, Zukiswa is responsible for coordinating examinations and the results thereof and the publication thereof to the attention of students or uploading thereof on the platform, and she is clearly far removed in terms of job descriptions, far removed from arranging trial advocacy or casework, if that is the case, as it will be confirmed to you. You wouldn't be, Zukiswa, as I'm using this example, would not be expected to helpfully answer a query on trial advocacy when she is assigned the duty to deal with examinations. I'm just giving an example. So that upon you being informed, obviously through a leader platform, as to which coordinator is responsible for which line of duty in the office or in the school, please adhere to that type of job description. Forward or direct a query to the relevant coordinator to avoid confusion and to avoid unnecessary distress. But open to you, you'll find that our description of who does what covers the whole spectrum of your training. You know who to call when it comes to any query, complaint on casework, anybody who's dealing with trial advocacy, who to call, you'll know. Anybody who deals with assignments, you would know. And lucky for us, we also have, for the duration of your school, 2 interns. May I mention their names? One is Linda and another one is Lerato. So those interns, you'll see that you'll find communication sometimes emanating from them. Because they are our interns for the next, I think, 24 months. Right, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Our contact numbers are there on the e-leader or also on the learner guide. Use those contact numbers, as I'm saying, as recommended. Contact the person because this person has been notified to you as the relevant person to deal with your issue, whatever it is. The course itself starts today, but ladies and gentlemen, you will see that there's too much work involved, COVID or no COVID. There's too much work involved. And I know for a fact that for people like you in the majority who are in this school because they could not be accommodated in the attendance schools, time management is one of the things that you're going to self-train yourself. So obviously you are in more cases than many. You are employed, either self-employed or employed somewhere, and then you are very busy people, and you have decided in all your honor to undergo this training. After today, you don't have any 6 months left, let me tell you. It's 6 months less a day. So you don't have 6 months left. So that's how time flies. Time flies, and before you know it, it's examination time. Before you know it, it's assignment submission deadlines. Before you know it, we're talking of trial advocacy. As I said, it comes way towards the end of the program. The moment you are hearing or you're receiving correspondence or you're learning from the e-leader platform, you hear talk of trial advocacy, then something must click in your mind and say, where am I in terms of time management? The moment you hear or you see talk or mention of trial advocacy, arrangement thereof, attendance thereof, you must know that you are deep. You have basically started a descent towards arrival at some airport. You are coming to the end of your journey, 6 months. So it's going to be a very fast process, involved. And as I'm saying again, please don't be caught napping, time management wise. Enjoy your program, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoy the program because we enjoyed it in those days. We intend to do the best and to make this 6 months experience with us a rather enriching experience, far-reaching experience. And then good luck. As I'm saying, contact points, contact details are there in your learner guide. Use them, please, as advised. Call us because you must call us. And again, good luck. Enjoy the training. Thank you very much.